everybody. I'm here today with Erin Egresitz, and she is a trip schooler who was a tour director for a major tour operator over the road tours. And since COVID hit, she, like everybody else, has had to pivot and redirect her energy into something else. So she has created her own tour company called Rhody Rambles out of Newport, Rhode Island. Erin took our entrepreneurship course, and she has been quite successful in developing the business and doing the best she can in these rough and tumble times. Hi, Erin. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are
Aw-
you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for
Good.
asking. We're excited. We want to feature our entrepreneurs who are doing something from the course they took. Can you tell us, first of all, what made you decide to take the course?
Yeah, it was just kind of happenstance, I would say. I was thinking about starting a tour company just to do walking tours locally, and happened to see the ad that it was up and running, and I thought it was kismet and just a good coincidence. So I'm really happy that it worked out.
Perfect. What was the biggest challenge in actually creating tours and your products? What was the hardest part?
I think the hardest part was really kind of like the business end of things. I'm pretty used to putting tours
Mhm.
together and doing the research. It was more like the behind the scenes stuff that was a challenge for me, but the course helped enormously. I don't think I could have done it or would have done it without that. And just doing some research on paperwork and minding all of my P's and Q's. But once that was done, it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, we can only give you instruction on what to do. You have to actually do the hard work, and you did that. So you have not only created your company and created your own website, which you designed yourself, which I'm very impressed with, but you just went for it. You just did it. You said, I'm going to make it happen. And throughout the course, you just completed things as you needed to. You built your product, and you went through a special kind of process too, because what you thought was going to be just like Newport Walking Tours has turned into something else as well, which we kind of tossed around the ideas of kids and them being homeschooled and needing an outlet to go to. Do you want to talk about the idea you came up with that has you've actually put into fruition and now you're actually working on?
Yeah, sure. Initially, my idea was to kind of just do walking tours for local Rhode Islanders who are kind of stuck at home at the moment. Maybe it's a good time to appreciate the places that we live in. Um, but it seemed like there were so many kids who are not going back to school that there was sort of a market for educational walking tours for a younger age group. So I put a few posts out on different Facebook groups, like homeschool Facebook groups and distance learning Facebook groups, just sort of putting myself out there and advertising what I was interested in doing. And several parents got in touch with me asking if I could put a tour together around specific topics. So the first one was for really, really little kids, like 3 to 6, focusing on civics, um, which thankfully in that age group, civics is not very hard. So I could pull that off.
I actually love what you did. You want to share what you did with that? I thought it was genius.
Yeah, it took a while to come up with, but I printed out and looked up the different GSEs, the different standards of what kids are supposed to be learning in each grade. And for that particular subject in that age group, it's mostly about learning what a leader is and learning what rules are. And part of kind of the history side of things is learning how to read maps. So I put together a whole pirate treasure hunt in the local park, and I drew the maps myself, and kind of did like a scavenger hunt through the park. In the beginning, we talked about what it means to be a leader, and how to follow rules, and we talked about rules for the whole pirate adventure. So it seemed to work out pretty well.
And with all the hoopla with the election that was, because this is prior to the election, but with all the hoopla with that, you were asked to kind of touch base on that. And I thought it was very interesting what you did to explain voting to kids that age group.
Yeah, one of the moms had asked me to talk about voting and how that all works. And so I did. But again, these are very young kids. Most of them were 3 or 4. Um, so we talked about the voting process and how votes have consequences. And I had them vote on what vegetable I was going to eat for dinner that night.
I love that.
And they got strangely very excited about that. And then for that night, I did actually eat the vegetable that they chose for me, and so I
What was
sent
what was your vegetable that you had to eat?
it's corn every time, so it's totally a stacked election. But kids
Yeah,
will
corn. Oh,
always
corn
pick
always.
corn. So I have a picture of me eating corn, and then afterwards I always send an email to the parents of me eating the corn so they can show the kids to reinforce that idea of voting and consequences.
That is genius. I absolutely love that. You've also not just with your own tour business, but you've also got yourself listed on Tours by Locals platform as well. How has that been?
It's been great. I honestly was not expecting, a ton of tours for them because they say, most of their or half of their clientele comes from cruise ships. And as those are not coming into Rhode Island or anywhere at the moment, I was a little skeptical, but I'm not going to say like I had a tour every day during the summer, but I had kind of consistent work. And I had a few book recently for Thanksgiving weekend too. So it's pretty exciting.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's all great news, and we were so excited to hear that, and we're glad that things are working out, and we're excited to watch you to continue to grow, not just your products, but your business as a whole. So, if we can be of any resources to you, feel free to reach out. Yeah, just thanks for sharing your wisdom.
I will definitely reach out. Thank you. You guys have been super helpful. It's very much appreciated.
We appreciate that, Erin. So, guys, go check out Rhody Rambles' website and also look for Erin on the Tours by Locals platform. And next time you're in Newport, Rhode Island, you know where to go to learn about politics and corn.
And vegetables.
Thanks again, Erin. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.